So the topic for today is benchmarking, and this is topic of quality toolkit for managers. The subject code is KMBOM-03. Okay, so these are some references that you may refer for further study. As first is your textbook, and rest are some good books in the field of quality. And these three are good blocks that you may refer for further study about the topic benchmarking. Okay. So first, we will discuss what is benchmarking, its type, and characteristics, etc. Okay, so what is benchmarking? Basically, benchmarking is a process where you measure your company's success against other similar companies to discover if there is a gap in performance that can be closed by improving your performance. Means you need to set a benchmark. Okay, that benchmark may be based on your competitors performance or your competitors strategy or your competitors process. Okay, so basically you are inspired with the success of other company, whether it is in similar work area or maybe in other work area also. Okay, so that is basically benchmarking. So benchmarking is a process where you measure your company's success against other similar companies to discover if there is a gap in performance, if you have identified some gap. And what is gap basically? So gap is basically measured through this expected versus actual outcome. Okay, so in terms of performance, and that can be closed by improving your performance. Okay, so studying other companies can highlight what it takes to enhance your company's efficiency and become a bigger player in your industry. Basically, you need to choose a role model. Okay, and for that purpose, you generally select a company or a similar means a competitor that is performing in your work area. Okay, to improve your performance, to make that company a benchmark basically. Okay, so benchmarking can also help organizations identify areas, systems, or processes for improvement. So either through incremental means continuous improvement or dramatic means business process engineering improvement. Okay, suppose you have seen that one of your competitor has adopted that ERP based module or cloud enabled ERP solution. Okay, so you have seen that your competitor is becoming successful, okay, by adopting such type of practice. So you also plan to implement that cloud enabled ERP solution. Okay, so you may get consultation from your competitor or by making that company a role model. So that is basically, that may be incremental type of improvement or dramatic type of improvement. What is incremental type of improvement means you are working on continuous improvement. Okay, and what are dramatic means you are looking for a breakthrough change or breakthrough improvement. Okay, so that is basically dramatic means business process engineering types of that is improvement is dramatic change. Okay, so the objective of benchmarking is to use the data gathered in your benchmarking process to identify areas where improvement can be made by. Okay, by what mechanism? To determine how and where other companies are achieving high performance level than your company has been able to achieve. So you may use here QFD also, quality function deployment, to measure your performance in respect to your competitors. Okay, and after that you may decide whether and which area you need to improve upon. Okay, so comparing the competitions process and strategies against your own, basically you will compare your competitors process and strategies against in comparison to your company, and you will identify the gap, and after that you will prepare a strategy to mitigate that type of gap basically. Okay, to overcome that gap basically. So using the information you gather from your analysis and comparisons to implement changes that will improve your company's performance, products and services. Okay, so basically you will collect the data and compare it through your computer to improve your company's performance, as well as improvement in terms of your product functionality would be there. or in terms of your service functionality or service offerings could be there. Okay, so these are the basics of benchmarking basically. So why is benchmarking important nowadays? If you talk about benchmarking, so consistent benchmarking can help you to improve processes and procedure. Means if you are adopting this consistent or continuous benchmarking, so it will continuously improve your processes and procedure in comparison to your competitor. So that will give you a better competitive as in the market. Okay, next is gauge the effectiveness of past performance. Okay, so you may measure your performance, and if you are not satisfied with your performance, then you may prepare an action plan to improve your performance basically. So give your next is give you a better idea of how the competition operates. Okay, and which will help you to identify best practices to increase your performance. Okay, means you may choose that what your competitors are doing, and what you need to do, and what will be the best practices in my industry, so that you will identify basically by adopting this benchmarking. Okay, just a minute. Next is increase efficiency and lower cost. Okay, so making your business increase efficiency and lower cost, making your business more profitable. Okay, means you will increase your efficiency in terms of selecting a benchmark and continuously work upon cost optimization basically. So by this way you will make your business more profitable. Okay, next is improve quality and customer satisfaction. If you are working towards continuous improvement, in that way you will provide better products or better service offerings to your customers, and that will lead to better customer satisfaction in comparison to the previous one. Okay, so that is basically why the benchmarking is important nowadays. Okay, next is, if you talk about what is benchmarking process, so first you should plan about benchmark. Okay, means the first stage of benchmarking is most important in the process. Planning includes highlighting what you want to improve and who you will be benchmark yourself against, and how you envisage success basically. Okay, so means all the planning part, means all preparing strategize, means how to improve your process, or how to improve your product, or how to make your performance much better, or how to adopt best practices, or how to adopt best strategy in your market. Okay, so that for that purpose you need to plan for that, means you need to strategize that. Okay, so only once this step has been completed will you be able to move on to the next step, as the result of planning will focus on the information will you do in planning phase. You will collect data. Okay, process it and get the information, collect use it, or prepare a strategy, means where you see yourself after so many times. Okay, that you will decide in your planning part, means you are planning for next 5 years or next 10 years or next 15 years. So that will you decide in your planning phase. Okay, next is collection of information. So what is collection of information after planning? Benchmarking is about collecting information on your processes and how competitor do them, means basically you will assess your performance. Okay, where you lies currently and what are your expectations, means where what competitors are doing. Okay, and that made them successful. So if you are looking to improve your customer service satisfaction rating, you should understand the processes involved in the department, so how call and communication are dealt with, and also how it differs from your competition. Okay, so maybe you can talk to someone in another call center or call the center directly to gain first hand knowledge of their processes. And at this point it is important to gather as much information as possible. Generally companies are hiring market research companies to collect data for that company, or you may directly talk to your competitor and ask about means what are the processes that they have adopted. Okay, and that is basically benchmarking, means you may say that I am considering you a role model, and I want to be successful as you are, and that way you may collect information from your competitors also by making that company a benchmark basically. Okay, so you may choose a external vendor or external market research company or external consultant also, as well as you may talk some key persons from that company, means your competitor also. So that is basically mechanism to collect information to benchmark yourself. Okay, so next is analysis of data, means now you will identify where the gap is lying now currently. Okay, so once you feel you have all the information you can gather, you can start to plot it and begin to understand the shortcoming you may have, means what are the various gaps and what are the shortcomings, means you should profile your opportunity and threats basically. So it is important to remember at this point in the process that no business is perfect, and you must have an open mind to be able to analyze information objectively. So once findings start to uncover, you can draft a report and start discussing the next steps to achieve better performance in this area. Means you will analyze the data, you will process that information to become successful, to make it a benchmark, to strategize it. Okay, so next is this action, means you have analyzed the data, you have filtered it, and you have got the information, means by what way you may become successful, and you will also identify gap, means where are the expected outcome and what are the actual outcome, and where is gap, where are we lying, and what are the various assignable causes that are associated with such type of gaps. So uh, to plan for overcoming such type of gap, you will implement next phase, that is action. Okay, so presenting finding to a department is never an easy thing. So especially when you are proposing changes, gathering and analyzing information is only worthwhile when you can implement changes and better the company in the process. So gaining buy-in from a department can involve concessions, so that make sure that MVP you present is accepted and will likely equate to the success highlighted in the planning stage. Okay, so that is basically means now you will act upon that strategy that you have finalized based on your information that you have collected and based on analysis of data. Okay, and now you will work upon that strategy basically. Okay, and next phase is this monitoring. So what is monitoring basically? So no plan is ever completed without monitoring result to determine how successful the plan has been. The implementation phase will have highlighted matrices and goals for success within a time frame. So monitoring these is the only way of knowing the efficacy of the changes. So monitoring can be over a short or long period of time depending upon the desired outcome. What is this basically? Monitoring means to maintain that success factor, you need to continuously relook upon your strategy, whether there is a need required to change for that change that strategy or not. So you may monitor it for short term short period or for long period, that depends based on your desired outcome basically. Okay, whether you are looking for a short term success or whether you are looking towards the long term success basically, it is related with the industry to it is dependent on industry to industry as well as processes to process basically. Like some manufacturing processes haven't changed since last 2 decades. Okay, so in that case you need to monitor your performance or monitor your process in long range basically. And some companies or some industries are there, like in telecommunication, if you see a lot many changes are there in subsequent year also. Okay, so in that case you need to prepare their short term monitoring approach. So this is basically monitoring approach that will totally dependent on in which industry you are operating, in which company you are operating, in which process you are dealing with, in what product you are or what services you are offering. So in that case, you need to prepare your monitoring plan basically regarding this benchmarking process. Okay. So next topic is types of benchmarking. So there are a lot many types that is existed in benchmarking. Few of them are here. Like internal benchmarking is there. What is internal benchmarking? If you are thinking that some department of your organization is doing well, okay, so in that case you will means put that department as a benchmark and motivate other department to improve their self as compared to that department. Okay, so if other teams or organizations within your company have established best practices in processes similar to yours, okay, so internal benchmarking involves analyzing what they are doing so you can find areas where you can improve and be more efficient. Okay, so in that way you will adopt this internal benchmarking. Okay, so for example, you could compare the performance of one warehousing and shipping site against another warehousing and shipping site. So for the sites with superior performance simply needs to share their processes and procedure so that the entire company benefits from increased performance. Suppose you have in one department you have adopted web enabled ERP solution. Okay, so after pilot testing you will deploy it across the organization. Okay, so that is basically internal benchmarking. Means you have first adopted it in a part, and after noticed the success, you have adopted it across your organization or along your organization basically. So that is basically what is internal benchmarking. Means if your one department is doing well or adopting some best practices over there, so in other department you will also deploy the same practices in same manner. So that is basically internal benchmarking. Next is competitive benchmarking. This type of benchmarking is a comparison of product, services, processes and methods of your direct competitors. Like nowadays you see that many more companies are there in travel sectors, and they are giving same types of service offerings. They are offering same types of services to their customers basically. Okay, so what is that? Basically competitive benchmarking is if one player is giving such type of services, then another player will also look for delivering that type of services basically. So that is what competitive benchmarking. So this type of benchmarking is a comparison of products, services, processes, and methods of your direct competitors. Means you will look towards your direct competitors, what they are doing, and you will plan to give the product with similar features or offering services with similar types of features, as well as you will deploy processes as your competitor is deploying, or methods of manufacturing as your competitor is deploying. Okay, so this type gives you insight into your position within your industry and what you may need to do to increase your productivity. So for example, you can compare the customer satisfaction of a competitor's product to yours, and if your competitor is getting better customer reviews, you need to analyze what the difference is and figure out how to improve the quality of your product. So basically you will compare the product, services, processes or methods of your competitor, and you will draft your product, service, process and method as per your competitors. Okay, so that is basically competitive benchmarking. Next is process benchmarking. What is this? This type of benchmarking helps you to better understand how your processes compared to others in your industry. Suppose one company has adopted this nowadays a lot many devices are this IoT enabled or machine learning enabled or artificial intelligence enabled. So if one company is adopting such type of processes and giving you a product with such type of latest technology, so you will also deploy that process basically. So this type of benchmarking helps you to better understand how your processes compare to other in your industry, and by looking at other companies in the industry you can improve your processes to make them more efficient and cost effective. Okay, so that is basically process benchmarking. Next is strategic benchmarking. What is strategic benchmarking? Means adopting some others strategy. Okay, so use this type of benchmarking when you need to look beyond your own industry to identify world class performance and best practices, so you can look for ways to adopt their methods to your procedure and processes. Okay, like nowadays we are working towards blue ocean strategy. Okay, developing blue ocean strategy, not working towards that red ocean strategy. Okay, adopting technology over there. So if somebody is adopting such type of strategy, or some person is adopting some unique type of strategy, then you are also planning to adopt that unique type of strategy. Okay, means planning phase basically. So for example, seeing a need to improve performance, Southwest Airline turned to NASCAR to analyze how pit crews are able to service race cars so quickly. Okay, and they realizes that it all depends on each pit crew member's ability to perform clearly defined tasks within a specific time interval, means 12 to 16 seconds if all the four tires need to be changed and car needs to be fueled. Okay, if you see that car racing, okay, and in that case you see that the pit crew members, okay, they are replacing all the tires and get it fueled within 12 to 16 seconds. Okay, so as a result, Southwest Airline changed and streamlined their processes for gate maintenance, plane cleaning, and passenger boarding by similar way as that pit crew perform in that car racing basically. Okay, so that is formula races. So that is basically adopting that strategy in their company. So means if you are seeing the strategy of some company, some other company, and you are looking to adopt that strategy in your company, so that is basically strategic benchmarking. Okay, so these are various types of benchmarking. Next is performance benchmarking. What is performance benchmarking? Performance benchmarking is hardest process to improve as it involves learning about computer performance matrices and procedures, and also making changes to processes within your business on the lower levels. Okay, so introducing new processes is a challenging action in any business as it requires buy-in from many different levels in the company. So performance benchmarking can uncover findings that might not be possible to implement in the business without creating a long-term change plan. So these can also most effective and successful changes for a company. I am giving here you an example. Like Amul company has deployed, generally it was selling before 2010. Amul company was selling most of raw milk over there. Okay, but after 2010 they have dramatically changed their product line, and they have offered a wide variety of product line to their consumers. Okay, and after seeing that company's performance, means Amul company's performance, other companies like Mother Dairy and Parag and other cooperatives have also adopted the similar model. So that is basically what the performance benchmarking means. If you are inspired with the performance of your competitor, okay, or other player in the market, and you want to adopt a similar type of benchmark for your company also, means you will look towards improving your basically product line or offering of services or other parts. So that is basically performance benchmarking. Okay, so these are various types of benchmarking, and these are all basic details about benchmarking, and you may refer these references for further study about the topic. Like first is your textbook, second two are some good books about this quality management or operations management that you may refer for further study about benchmarking, and these are some good blogs that you may refer for further study about benchmarking. Okay, so if you have any query or